Today is a day where I'm going to be doing some work on the van. It's a bit cooler, it's been a bit too hot recently, but it's kind of exciting because I've got new things. So I've had a real dilemma. I've been talking to the absolute legends at Bluefix, Mark and Luke. Bluefix is the place that you go for your electrics, hands down, nowhere else. They know exactly what they're doing. I wouldn't go anywhere else, and I've been picking their brains. Now, thinking about going induction. I don't like cooking on electric, is what it comes down to. I like cooking on fire. However, I'm trying to kind of keep with the modern times, and everyone's going induction, and I'm thinking, shall I go induction? So I have choices. The induction hob, you would have seen me cooking on this at the shows. This is what I do all my cooking demonstrations on. Because of the wind, gas is hard to cook on in the wind, but the induction has been great. Just kind of doesn't match my cooking style, if I'm honest. So complications that come with going to induction is obviously the inverter. I've got a 400 amp hour battery. I'm all running 12 volts in the van. But I would need to get a super duper inverter. Now those big blue 3000 watt inverters are pretty hefty. They weigh about 20 kilograms. Weight is a bit of an issue for me as well. In fact, one of the reasons I was thinking about going induction was doing away with the gas tank and everything and just saving a little bit of weight. But when I'm pumping an inverter in like that, yeah, not sure. Also, Bluefix kind of suggested maybe going to 24 volt might be an option. You have to have two batteries to run 24 volt. So yes, that was the dilemma. Future-proof, no gas, traveling Europe, no problem. Nice and easy, cooking on the induction. It will suit a lot of people. However, it hasn't suited me. I'm not gonna do it. I'm sticking to gas. So this is what I usually travel around with. This is a 5 kilogram. I think I've got a 7 kilogram in at the moment. And I usually float between the two. I do have a spare because I don't want to be going to an event, doing cooking demonstrations and run out. However, saying that, I've been using the induction recently. So, yeah, but I carry that. Then you've got to have a lockbox. If you're traveling in Europe, you need to have a good, safe lockbox, and that's quite heavy again. And it takes up so much room in the van as well. I mean, that's a whole cupboard. You can get more kitchen gadgets. So that's the old method. However, we have an underslung LPG tank. It seems like the right thing to do. Frees up cupboard space. It's nice and neat. I love the idea that I can just fill up from a petrol station, not having to queue up in the DIY stores and wait for them to swap it over. And it's actually always a real ball ache doing this. I just rock up a particular petrol stations. Not all of them do it. But yeah, I'll have an underslung tank with a filling point. So the amazing guys at the LPG shop spoke me through everything that I'd need. I got the full kit, everything. So I'm going to talk you through, hopefully, a simple fitting. So I waited ages to do this install. I've waited for the right weather. Not too hot, not too cold, dry. However, I have decided to pick Flying Ant Day. There's flying ants everywhere, and this year they're saying you're going to see swarms of them in the sky. But it's clearly today because they are everywhere, driving me crazy. So we can have a little bit of a rummage of what's in the box, because actually I'm really impressed with everything they've sent me. So obviously there's the big bad boy tank there. They've sent some gas lines here, some flexible ones. I know what you're thinking. Yes, these are pizza boxes. Only Mark from Vanlifeeats would use pizza boxes as floor matting. Anyway, there's some conduit there. There's some solid copper as well, some copper gas lines there for running a distance, which may be the issue. How about this, right? There's even a hole cutting saw for cutting the little outlets on the side. Really impressed with that. I've gone with black. Here we go, auto gas. There's a little gauge as well, Look at that, that would be so useful to know how much gas you got left. Yeah, that's really cool. And we got the regulator there. I also got this manifold as well. It's got three outlets on it, and you can sort of close them off if you're not using them. I'm only going to use, technically I'm only going to use one, but I'm going to have an outlet, or I've got a little outlet on the side of the van for my pizza oven. My Gosney Tread pizza oven, I could not live without that, so I'm going to have an outlet that will connect to that, so I can still use my Gosney pizza oven. So that's really useful. Pleased with that. Things. There's things. Again, more things. Yeah, there's the hole cutter there to go with that. I'm actually really impressed. That would have caught me out. I would have had to have gone to the shop to buy one of these. Quick run to Screwfix, I would have thought, would have screwed up an hour of the day. So that's really good that these kits come with that. It makes me feel positive about having everything here. All sorts of mounts here, screws, things, a little bag for something. But there's no instructions. The instructions are online, so I'm gonna have to follow some other people's advice on YouTube. So I'll put a link below to the guides that I've been looking at, so you've got a full range of seeing who does what. But I'm pretty amateur, and if I pull this off, I'm sure most people are going to be able to fit this. Excuse the pose. I need to go under the van, gonna find somewhere to fit it. I'm actually thinking of fitting it at the back. Reason being is the bolts are gonna need to go through the floor pan of the van, and I do not want to move all my kitchen unit and be digging around under there. So the easiest place is probably going to be in the boot. Plus there seems to be a lot of room where the spare wheel used to go. And I don't carry a spare wheel. Don't know if anyone even does carry a spare wheel these days. So I'm thinking that's going to be a really good spot for it. I mean, to be fair, there's plenty of room under here. And I'd say there's probably more room here than under the sill along the side, which is where I was thinking of putting it. So I think we'll go here. It's pretty much 60 centimetres. So yeah, I reckon I'm going to put it just here at the very back. To be honest, not many people get to see in the back of my van, partly from the embarrassment of the messy electrics. Things are piled on the bed at the moment just because I was getting things off the... I've just thrown everything up there, come on. This is real life van life. But by fitting the tank under there, it means I can drill straight through here into the old ply floor in there, which would be pretty solid. I am not going to make this an instructional video because I am not the right person for this. I'm okay at doing things, but I do things very slowly, a little bit backwards, and a little bit bodgy. So whenever I go to sell this van, now honestly, I've done everything pretty proper on this. As I am with this, I'm doing a proper job. I'm gonna get the proper bolts in. I've got the proper tools, but I'm just not gonna be that techie person. I'll show you a technical way of making a roux or a bisque or something like that, but I'm not gonna show you technical stuff. So this is gonna be a fly through video. Mainly, I want you to talk to me about why I've gone with the underslung tank, why I've stuck with LPG, why I've done away with my gas. I'm traveling into Europe, so I need to make sure everything's Euro safe. Talk to me about regulators. By all means, I'm here to help with that. But this is just going to be a fly through video. This is me fitting. I think it's all on. I need to double check the angle that it's at, but I'm not going to, I'm going to do it up tight because I'm going to drive, but generally I think it's gone on all right. What I've seen some people do is paint it with stone chip. So actually, at some point, I may do that. I mean, I've dropped it a few times already on this horrible gravel that I'm working on. I can't even see myself in the camera, but I bet I'm absolutely black. It's all gone on okay. No real issues. We've got the two hoses hanging here. They're all going in the right direction of the van. So, so far so good. It's been pretty straightforward. I'm just going to tighten these up, and then we're going to look at running the hoses down the length of the van to get to the right place for the refill. So here's something to consider. I've got the proper gas outlet, which means drilling into the van, which is what I wanted. Proper connector. You know, look nice and smart. However, when you've got a pre-converted van and I've got a vapor barrier in there, I've got a layer of insulation, then I've got cladding in there, it's a little bit hard to just drill into that and then make that sandwich connection. You kind of need to do it beforehand, so I can kind of see why people get the connector that just a little bracket that connects to the sills. I have seen that. Do understand now why people do that. I'm going to persevere with this way for a moment. It's just going to take me a little while to find the location where I can kind of get in there and break the vapor barrier, fix it, screw this in, do the thing, re-insulate, reclad. Bit of a pain in the butt. So I am thinking here is going to be the best place. It's just, I'm going to have to hack away and move some of the electrics on the inside. So that basically means I'm going to get timed out by the sunshine. So it's for tonight. I'm going to get some sleep, do a bit of research and have a good think about it before I start hacking away at the van. I really want to use the refill point. I don't want to take it back and get the little undersill one, but I do see why people do that now. But I'm thinking that that's going to have to go there. It's probably the best place for it. But I'm not going to jump to any hasty moves, which is the classic Mark move, and cock it up. So I'm going to get some sleep, have a think, and carry on in the morning. Good morning. So, spent the night over in the field and I've come back to my unit. This is where I do all my work. So the big dilemma of where I fit the refill point on the van. So I thought about it all last night, kept getting up, walking around the van, checking under the van, trying to find a good place. Yeah, didn't sleep too well because I was thinking about it so much. But I think we're going here. It seems like a good spot, just here. It's less distance for the refill hose to travel. It's easy to poke through in the back of the van. I'd rather drill a hole in the back rather than up there, even though I'm going to have to drill a hole up there anyway for the gas lines, but it just seems easier here. Now I've got a three-way manifold. Thinking, I've got the outlet at the front, which goes to my pizza oven. I've got my outlet that goes to my normal gas hob. And then I also am considering running a line down back to the back of the van, which will be for maybe another pizza oven or just having a nice outlet out. I don't know. I just thought maybe one day I'll fit a gas outlet at the back. So, that's why I went with the three-way manifold. Now I can shut them off. They've got shut-off valves, and I put a blanking cap on as well, so it'll be nice and safe. So where do I fit the manifold? That's the big question. Okay, so I've already got a few things going on here. I've got my gas pipe work that's currently TP'd off, one to the outlet on the side, one to the gas stove up here. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think that'll be fairly easy to reach for turning on and off, and I think I'm just going to simply mount it there. Here is going to be the best place to drill the gas line through the hole, so I need to just measure and make sure I get that right. So this is the moment where I see where the hole came out. Oh, it's not too bad, not too bad. This will run along the length of the van, but it's got a protective coating on it as well. So it's a copper pipe, but with a protective coating. Well, that is it for today, day 2, but I spent most of the day setting up my gazebo, flag, my table and pizza oven, obviously getting the van in position. I'm actually here at a Vanlife Eats mini meet, which is all happening Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's Thursday, so just kind of getting ready for that, at the same time taking the opportunity to have a little play around with the van, get the van nice. But I've had my shower water warming all day. That's sitting at 40 degrees. I would say 40 degrees is pretty much the optimal shower temperature. And the sun is setting. It's pretty beautiful here at Dummer Farm. So how I shower, usually when I come to somewhere a bit secluded, there is a way actually of opening the back door and kind of blocking myself in a little bit so no one sees. But when I do have a gym membership, so I go to gyms all the time. The service stations, nearly all service stations on the motorway, all have a shower. I use those all the time. So I do shower a hell of a lot. So I've never bothered fitting a shower to the van. But when I'm a couple of days working on the van and I'm absolutely filthy, it's probably all over my face, this is how I shower. Now, I'm not going to do a shower scene. I did a shower scene in one of my videos before and you lot didn't like it. Don't know why. So, no bums in this shot, I'm afraid. So a few days have passed since the last video, so I've got a little bit wilder. Not through the job taking time, it's purely because I've had a Vanlife Eats mini meet, which has been amazing with loads of people. We've been in the woods with the fairy lights. We've had the Gosney pizza oven on the go, teaching people how to make pizza and actually use the peel, and it's been really, really good fun. We made quite a few other things as well, but anyway, you'll see that on other content. So I'm now in another location, but I'm really pleased how this has gone. I've now got the LPG fill point on the side of the van. I've got the little meter wired in, which was a little bit more complicated than I thought it would be. Well, it wasn't, it was just confusing. The next job is to get it seen by an approved gas technician to run some chemicals through it to see if there's any leaks or anything. So I'm gonna do that. So one thing to note is that this needs to be at the right angle. This is where the valves are, for safety really, when you're so you don't overfill. So you need to look at this level line at the back and the top of the this whole section here. That kind of gives you an indication of what is straight and what's to be level. And these valves need to sit sort of at 3:30 o'clock, 105 degrees, so they're sitting slightly down. So that took me a little while to get that into the right place, but we're there now. So yeah, bear that in mind, a little bit fiddly, but you'll get there. So I'm really happy with this, it's gone really well. The angle is good, 105 degrees. It's all fitting the way I want it to. I've got the fill up point exactly where I want it. Everything's bang on. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't paint it before I put it in place. Now I recommend you paint this before you do it, because now I'm a bit snookered. But what I am going to do is going to paint all the bracket and stuff as well. And I'm going to paint it with an undersill, just a black thick undersill paint. And I'm going to do it every year just to top it up. At the same time, when I just give the van a bit of a wax oil underneath as well, so it's worth doing it then. You can use like a Raptor paint or something like that, do a bit of a neat job, I'm just going to go with an undersill. Okay, it's got a lovely coat now of a protective undersill paint. This protects against the water, stone chips, rust, everything really. So that's nicely coated now. So we're safe, we're fitted, we're connected, everything's where I want it to be. The only thing left to do is fill up this bad boy. So the big question, how easy is it to actually go and fill up the LPG tank? Auto gas. So there is an auto gas app. I will show you that now. It shows where you are and it shows where all the fill up points are around the country. So I base myself in Surrey, so it's probably the worst place for these sort of things, but actually looking at it, if you live in Kent, at least kind of central Kent, Crawley, Hawley, Edenbridge, East Grinstead, Tunbridge Wells, you're going to have a hard time getting auto gas. Looks like it might be quite hard to get in central London as well. But then it just gets easier and easier all around the country, all up into the north. You can get it all up around Yorkshire. The app also tells you the price as well. So at the moment it's looking at 99.9 is high and it's flagged it as red, but it seems to be the most popular price. Lucky for me, right where I'm going to fill up, it is, where are we? Over here. You can just literally drop the pin and it tells you where you are, what's around you. There's a really close one here at 99.9. But where I'm actually going to go, 76.1. So that's the cheapest on the map, and it's just around the corner. So no problems for me filling up. And finally, I've got my gas fitted in the van. I've got the LPG tank underslung at the back. I've got my gas hoses nice and neatly routed around the van, come up through the middle. I've got my little isolation valve. I've got it connected to my external point on the van as well. I've got gas everywhere now, and best of all, I've got the little gauge. Finally, a gauge to tell me how close I am to running out of gas. But probably the most important reason for doing this was for traveling in Europe. So the way I had it set up before, it wasn't European compliant. In fact, to be honest, it wasn't safe. I had a gas bottle in a cupboard, as simple as that, and I know so many of you guys are doing that, and it isn't safe. You need to have that gas safe locker, but I didn't. And for traveling into Europe, I had to literally take the gas bottle out and do the crossing and then buy gas while I'm out there, and it was just a bit of a pain in the butt. So now I'm completely Euro compliant. I've got all the little adapters to fill up LPG points anywhere across Europe, as well as here in the UK. Yes, there are less places to fill up with LPG, but what I have found is that it's way easier to just look at the map and think, okay, I've got to drive for half an hour to find a fuel station that does LPG, but it's still better than or no different than driving for half an hour to find a B&Q, home base or something like that to buy a new replacement bottle. That little bit of inconvenience of finding an LPG station is completely countered by the ease of going to the pump and just filling up from the pump. So much easier. So I'm so pleased I've got that fitted. I'm completely compliant for driving around Europe, driving around the UK. It's safe, and I love cooking on gas. I love cooking with a flame. It's my preferred style of cooking, and I'm now all set up, fully ready to go. So I'm gonna big up the LPG shop. They were absolutely amazing at helping me. There's a few questions I had, wasn't sure about things twisted at the right angle, and actually I was a little bit worried that if I got the angle wrong, is that dangerous? I didn't want to have risks of overfilling or anything like that. They were just so helpful in answering those questions and guiding me. And oh yeah, highly recommend the LPG shop. I will put the link below because they sold me everything I needed, the whole entire kit. Everything was in that box that they provided. There was nothing I needed to go to the store to buy. Often you find you have to go and buy a hose, a clip, or a little adapter or something that's not quite right. Nothing at all. Everything in that box, ready to go, away you go. You could probably do the whole fitting easily in probably an afternoon. So yes, LPG, European compliant, safe, more cupboard space. The LPG shop, super helpful, highly recommend. If you've got any questions about why I'm still cooking with gas and I haven't gone induction and up to the electrical system instead of doing the LPG, then give me a shout. But gas is my preferred way, and I'm loving my setup right now. It's great.